When I see the woodpile, Judd hands me the hoe. You see that garden? I nod. You see that corn? I want the dirt chopped up so fine I can sift through it with my fingers, he tells me. Now I see what he's getting at. He's going to make it so there's no way I can please him. I put in my 20 hours, and he'll tell me my work was no good, and he wants his dog back. I hoe till I got blisters on both hands, sweat pouring down my back. Wish I could do my work in the early morning before the sun's so fierce, but I don't complain. I take off my shirt finally, wrap it around my head to keep the sweat out of my eyes and keep on. Shoulders so red I know they'll hurt worse than anything the next morning. And they do. Next afternoon, Judd sets me to scrubbing down the sides of his trailer and his porch, shining up the windows, raking the yard. He sits on a folding chair in the shade. Don't offer me nothing, even water. I hate him more than the devil. My mouth feels so dry it feels like fur. Third day, though, he puts out a quart jar of water for me when I go to pick the beans. I bend them over in the rows so long, dropping the beans into the bucket. I think I'm going to be bent for the rest of my life. When I'm through, Judd sort of motions me to the porch like I can sit there if I want while I drink my water. I almost fall onto the porch, glad to be in the shade. Looks like you got yourself some blisters, he says. I'm okay, I tell him, and I take another drink. How's Shiloh? Oh, sorry, that was Judd. How's Shiloh? He asks. First time he's called the dog by that name. He's doing fine. Still got a limp, but he eats good. Judd just nods his head. Would have been a good hunting dog if I could have just kept him home, he says. The other dogs never run off. I think about that a while. Well, I say finally, each one is different. That's the truth. Kick one and he just goes under the porch for an hour. Kick another and he goes off and don't come back. I'm trying my best to think what to say to that, like how come he has to kick them at all. Then I figure nobody likes to be preached at, no matter how much he needs it, least of all Judd Travers. He was 30 years old if he's a day. Some dogs, it just makes them mean when you kick them, I finally say. Other dogs, it makes them scared. Shiloh got scared. Never beat my dog with the stick, Judd goes on. Never did that in my life. I don't say anything right away. Finally, though, I ask, how your dogs doing? Raring to go rabbit hunting, Judd says. We look over at his 3 dogs, all pulling at their chains and snarling at each other. That biggest dog now, Judd goes on. He's the loudest squaller I got. I can tell from his racket whether he's following a fresh track or an old one, if he's running a ditch, swimming, or treed a coon. That's pretty good, I say. Littlest one, he's nothing but a trashy dog. He'll run down most anything except what I'm after. Hope the others learn him something. And the middle dog, well, she gives a lot of mouth too. Even barks at dead trees. The dogs were fighting now, and Judd throws his can at him. You hush up, he yells. Y'all shut up! The can hits the biggest dog, and they all scatter. Don't much like being chained, Judd says. I guess nobody would, I tell him. I put in 10 hours that week, meaning I make up to 20 of the dollars I owe him. Got 1 more week to go. When I leave of an afternoon for Judd's, Shiloh goes with me just so far. Then he gets to whining and turns back. I'm glad he won't go on with me. I don't want him anywhere near Judd Travers.